What is inherited guilt in the Bible? Imagine being born into a story where your part is already written before you even take your first breath. That's what inherited guilt is about in the Bible. It's the idea that all humans are considered guilty before God because of Adam's first sin. When Adam disobeyed God in the Garden of Eden, he acted as the representative of the entire human race. Because of this, God credits or imputes Adam's guilt to all his descendants. This means that from birth, people are seen as legally guilty of sin, even if they have not yet committed any personal wrongs. This concept is closely linked to the idea of original sin, which teaches that everyone inherits a sinful nature from Adam. But inherited guilt focuses on the legal or judicial side of sin. It's about how God sees our standing before him. Original sin describes the corrupt moral condition passed down through generations. Inherited guilt, however, emphasizes that we are counted as guilty because of Adam's act of disobedience. The Apostle Paul explains this in the book of Romans, chapter 5, verses 12 through 21. He compares Adam's sin to the righteousness of Jesus Christ. Paul says that sin and death entered the world through one man, Adam. But salvation and life come through one man, Jesus Christ. This shows that Adam's guilt is imputed to everyone because he was our federal head or representative at the time of his sin. God, as the just judge, rightly considers Adam's guilt as ours because we are linked to him in this shared human story. Some people wonder if it's fair to be held guilty for Adam's sin, since we weren't there and didn't choose to sin then. The Bible teaches that each person is responsible for their own sins once they understand right from wrong and choose to do wrong. If it feels unfair to be represented by Adam's sin, it's consistent to accept that Christ's righteousness is also credited to believers as a gift of grace. Different Christian traditions have varying views on inherited guilt. Some believe humans only inherit a sinful nature, not guilt from Adam, until they personally sin. Others hold that inherited guilt is a clear biblical truth, emphasizing the legal consequences of Adam's disobedience for everyone. This doctrine has influenced practices like infant baptism, which is seen as a way to address the inherited state of guilt. In the end, inherited guilt in the Bible means that because of Adam's act as our representative, everyone is considered guilty before God. This affects our spiritual standing and highlights our need for redemption. It shows why Jesus' work on the cross is so important. As the new representative, Jesus offers righteousness and life to all who believe. Understanding inherited guilt helps us see why salvation is necessary and how God's justice and mercy work together within Christian belief.